For a very long time I have been using action cameras to do some of my videography and photographs. I have had a good number of action cameras. Some are good, some not so good, some more expensive than others. It can be a daunting task searching through the internet trying to find that nice camera, good quality at the right price, and that can be a bit of a challenge. I have in the past bought some very cheap cameras and you only get what you pay for. Action cameras are really made for a lot of punishment and outside use. Okay, I don't jump out of aeroplanes or slide down the mountain in the snow on a snowboard, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you guys out there that don't do that neither. There is a company called AKASO. Whether you're an adrenaline junkie or simply like myself want to take photos and videos, AKASO has made the Brave 7 action camera. Now I will leave a link in the description below for this camera. Along with the camera inside the box you will get a good number of accessories that can be used with the camera. The camera and accessories are extremely well packed, so there's no fear of the camera being damaged during transportation. On the outer of the packaging you can see all the information with regards to the camera, what you can do with it and the different accessories which are inside the box. There is no manual inside the box, just simply a quick start guide. The manual can be downloaded from the AKASO website. The QR codes can be scanned in to get the manual, and this is in different languages, but I will leave a link in the description below to the AKASO website where you can download this manual. The camera does utilise the GoPro style interface for connection to the camera. There is a very good selection of connectors inside the packaging for use with this camera. In the box on the top of the packaging there was a platform that the camera was connected onto for transportation use. I'm not sure whether it was meant for transportation purposes only, but I did find this extremely useful for table work. Although the camera is not an expensive camera, it does have a look and feel of quality. The camera is securely housed in a camera cage. On the bottom of the cage has the GoPro interface, and there are cutouts both on the side and top for the control buttons and access flap on one side. Both the cage and camera itself is made from high impact ABS plastic. When the camera is inside the cage it is held securely in position with a lever lock arrangement. When you first get your camera you will find protective film on both the lenses and the small screens. This will need to be removed after reading any instructions first. This camera does have a dual colour screen. It's IPX8 waterproof. This will allow you without a waterproof case to go to depths of 5 meters or 16 feet. It can take videos of 4K at 30 frames per second, photos of 20 megapixel. A 3x zoom is also available if required. To help eliminate any shaky videos it uses 6-axis anti-shake technology. The battery can last about 110 minutes with continuous recording at 4K. We will test that later. It was very nice to see that you can have up to 170 degrees super wide angle with this lens. One feature that I really like is they do provide you with an intelligent remote control. The camera also has an option for voice control to take a photograph. The camera does house two small pinhole microphones, one on the top and one on the side. As with a lot of the good quality action cameras, this does come with a dual charger, 2 batteries and charging lead. This has a USB-C on one end and a normal USB-A on the other. The supplied rechargeable batteries are lithium ion. They're 3.7 volts at 1350 milliamp. Although in the kit there's the dual charger, batteries, charging lead, they do not provide you with the AC mains adapter. You will need to provide your own. This is a standard 5 volt 2 amp mains adapter. All the usual safety precautions are built into the charger, like overvoltage, overcurrent and overheating. With a pair of completely flat batteries it can take up to 120 minutes to charge. When charging the LEDs glow red, when fully charged will turn blue. The battery is inserted into the bottom of the camera. This will only go in one way. The battery compartment door does have a rubber seal. If you're going to use your camera in water, ensure you close this properly. The only other door is on the side of the camera. This gives access to the USB-C port and also the card slot. The card I'll be testing with today is a 64GB Class 10 U3 card. A small speaker grill is located on the side of the camera. When the camera is inserted into the frame, the audio will come out of the 4 brass holes. The brass holes are threaded and may be used for future expansions. The camera has both front and rear dual colour screens, a 2-inch touchscreen on the back and a 1.2 colour screen on the front. To turn the camera on, press and hold for 3 seconds the top button. When powering up, the AKASO logo will appear, followed by the main screen. The main screen is touch sensitive. Touch on the geared icon to take you to the menus. All the settings for the camera can be done through these menus. There are 2 sets. The top icon will take you to amendments for both video and stills. When you find the tab of interest when scrolling down, simply click on it to amend it. The geared icon when clicked will give you options to make any amendments to the camera settings. As you can see on the screen, there are quite a number of amendments that can be made to both the camera or video and stills. Sometimes it's not convenient to use the screen to scroll. You can use the up and down arrowed buttons on the side of the camera to do so. Because we put a new card into the camera, this will need to be formatted. Simply scroll down and format this card as shown. There are 2 microphones in this camera, one on the side by the up and down arrowed buttons, and the other microphone can be found on the top next to the Wi-Fi logo. The indicator LED can be found next to the power and shutter release button. The small speaker grill is located on the side. This is above the access door to both the micro SD card slot and USB-C port. Both the up and down arrowed buttons are multifunctional. By pressing and holding for approximately 3 seconds will turn on the Wi-Fi function of the camera. This will enable you to control your camera with both mobile phone or tablet. The SSID and password will be shown on the screen. To get your mobile device ready, simply download the AKASO app. Now this can be for either iOS or Android. You will need to add the camera into the app. AKASO do produce a lot of cameras. Simply scroll down till you see Brave 7 and click on it. The SSID and the default password will be shown on the screen. Click accept and the camera will be connected to your mobile device. If all is well, you should see what the camera is seeing on the app. As with a lot of things that use Wi-Fi, there will be some lag of approximately half a second. You do not have as much control as you would do using the camera itself, but there is sufficient there to change and alter any of the parameters that you would need when taking either video or photographs. All the camera settings are quite basic, as you would not expect the camera controls and adjustments to be like a DSLR or camcorder. With the angle setting, you do get the option to go up to 170 degrees wide angle. This is changeable from 70 to 170 degrees. Loop recordings can be either off or up to 7 minutes. The resolution of the camera is quite impressive. It will do 720 at 60 frames per second up to 4K at 30 frames per second. Photos can be between 5 and 20 megapixel. You also have the option for time-lapse, burst photo or using the self-timer. As I mentioned earlier, the angle setting can be adjusted between 70 and 170 degrees. I did notice changing the settings to 170 degrees, it does introduce a little bit of fisheye. It is possible to use voice control with this camera. To use this option, you must first go to settings and turn on voice control. Speak in a normal speed when giving the command. AKASO, take photo. There will be a slight delay. This will enable you to start and stop video, take a photo, Wi-Fi on and off and power off the camera. The accessories that are provided with the camera, you do get a remote controller. I'll be quite honest here, I find this remote controller extremely useful. much better than voice control. This does have a rechargeable battery. The access port is a micro USB. Now they don't provide you with a lead or a charger for this surprisingly, but it will take approximately an hour and a half to charge. The remote controller has got lots of options on here to enable you to see whether it's binding, how many photos you've taken, the length of the video, swap from video to stills. This is a really interesting and useful accessory. To use the remote controller you will have to go into the settings again like you did voice control and switch it on. The range of the controller is approximately 50 feet. One nice feature, it will tell you how many photographs you've taken. An LED will flash when it's taking a photograph, or the LED will blink when it's recording video. You're not put in that situation thinking, has it worked or has it not? Is it recording video or did it take that still? The remote controller will let you know. As mentioned earlier in the video, the up and down buttons are multifunction. Pressing and holding the down arrow button for approximately 3 seconds will swap from the back screen to the front screen. This is quite a useful function, especially if you're using it for vlogging. Repeat the process with the button to swap to the back screen again. The specifications do claim that you can get 110 minutes of video recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. I started the video off and I have jumped forward as you wouldn't want to be sitting watching a timer for that length of time, and it certainly held up to the claims of 110. It actually done 116 minutes, which was an hour and 56 minutes. Before anybody asks, is the front lens removable? Yes, it is. This does make it a suitable candidate for future upgrades and options. The camera does use the HiSilicon and Sony IMX458 sensor. Okay, there is a zoom function on the Brave 7 camera. It's the button on the side with the up arrow to zoom in. If I press that repeatedly now, you'll see that we can zoom in ×3. We can stop it at any point, and again zoom in out, repeatedly pressing it. It will tell you on the screen the rate of zoom in or out. With regards to stability and anti-shake, the AKASO seem to do quite a reasonable job at that. At the moment we're looking at me now walking without having any of the anti-shake or stabilization switched on. As you would expect with that being switched off, walking shaky, running shaking even worse. AKASO have designed and developed a 6-axis anti-shake technology system that they use. They have been developing this over the years now, and obviously this has now come onto the Brave 7 action camera series. With the camera being sold as an action camera, then stability is very important indeed. Okay, that's the walkover. Now for the small little run back. And you can see here straight away that the stability is extremely good indeed. Normally I'm not the type of person that does a vlogging using a camera and a selfie stick, but just for the sake of testing audio I've decided to give it a go. I'm approximately 12 inches away from the camera itself at this moment in time, using a selfie stick. What the audio is going to be like, I've no idea at all, but I'm sure you'll be the judge of that. There is an optional extra microphone from the AKASO website that you can get. As with a lot of the action cameras, due to the waterproofing and small pinholes, the audio is not great. The camera is waterproof up to the IPX8 standard. As you would expect, the audio is not the best underwater, but you can go to depths of 5 meters or 16 feet. This can be done without no external case. Depending upon the type of water that you are in, there are filters ready built into the camera that can be used if required. In my case here, I did not have to use any filters at all. One of the main reasons I wanted the camera was to mount it on the car to do road driving videos. As a safety issue, if you do mount your camera on the front of the vehicle, ensure that you don't obstruct your view. I didn't bother putting any audio on this because all you hear is wind noise as you're racing along. The roads in the area where I live are not the smoothest in the world, so the stability was important, and the anti-shake when switched on here you can see is extremely good. Again, with the camera mounted side on, no issues. The shake is taken out of all those little lumps and bumps that I'm driving over. I'm not normally a person that will take stills, I'm normally video, but I was pleasantly surprised at the good quality that you do get from this camera at 20 megapixel. This camera will cope with most weather conditions, be it cold, hot, rainy, sunny, and even here in the snow, placed on the ground, filming the birds. I know that the camera is labelled as an action camera, but there's more to this camera than just an action camera. Even in these harsh conditions, it does work well. I have been using the camera for a few weeks now, and I have found the camera to be brilliant. It has done everything that I've asked it to do. It's got 4K at 30 frames per second. It can take a 20 megapixel photo. The picture quality, both on video and stills, is excellent. It has dual coloured screens, one of those are touch sensitive. It is waterproof, so the rain or a quick splash around in the sea, no issues or problems. There are so many features to mention here, like the voice control, time-lapse, slow motion, the zoom, remote control, and all the accessories that you would ever want. The list simply goes on. One major advantage here is its price. It's very cheap for what you get. If you are in the market for an action camera, then this one certainly ticks all the boxes and is well worth considering. I hope you found this information of use to you. Thank you for watching.